Okay, I just gotta say, the Sega Genesis is one of the most influential consoles of all time. But instead of me rambling about it for the next 5 minutes, let's play some fucking games! Yeah, let's play some games. Oh, I didn't move my TV yet. But I do have a solution. I do have my flat screen for now. So, yeah, it's not permanent. I don't got my tube. But we can play it on this. This is fine. Luckily, I have a solution. The Genesis Mini. The Genesis Mini is, well, what you would expect. It's a mini version of the Genesis. Never would have guessed. It has Genesis games pre-installed into the system. Well, obviously Sega made this because Nintendo made the NES Classic. Because Genesis does what Nintendo does first. It's also convenient because it uses a universal thing for power. Micro USB. Instead of USB-C. Which is, that's fine. Yep, that's fine.
No, it isn't.
Okay, so after about 10 seconds of waiting after you turn the system on, which is kind of bullshit, you get greeted to this menu screen, which has your games. Now, of course, there's Sonic the Hedgehog, and pretty much what you'd expect from there's Castlevania Bloodlines, Contra Hardcores, fucking Landstalker, and then there's some more obscure games like Mega Man The Wily Wars, which never had a physical release here in North America. And there is one... They bragged about this on the box. I don't have the box. I'm not fortunate enough to have the box. This has one exclusive, unreleased title that is exclusive to this, that you could not find a physical copy of. Tetris. I know, it's pretty crazy that you can play Tetris on this. Because you can't play Tetris on anything else. It's pretty crazy that they put Tetris on this thing. It's like the only way to play Tetris ever. Except for, let's see, everything else. One of the cooler things is that it has save states, in case you are a little bitch and you suck at games. You can just save at a good point and then load. Here's the problem with the Genesis Mini 2, though. It's just like what you would expect from any other HDMI system ever. Input lag. Doesn't sound like that big of a deal, right? Wrong. Especially for somebody that's picky like me. Input lag does not really exist on a CRT with RF or AV. It does exist in HDMI, though. And playing retro games with input lag, you're used to playing modern games with input lag because all of them have it. Retro games don't really, or at least it's a lot worse on HDMI. So you're playing the game and you're like, oh my gosh, why didn't he jump? Well, it's because you didn't press it soon enough because of fucking input lag. But overall, it's not a bad system. It really is a pretty cool little classic system. And I'd say it holds up compared to the NES Classic and the SNES Classic. And obviously it's way better than those at-game 2600s. They recently released a Model 2 Genesis Mini that looks like the Genesis Mini Model 2, or it looks like the Genesis Model 2. But one of the coolest things for some nerd like me, is the attention to detail on the system. And what I mean by that, I mean like, it is perfectly to detail with the original Model 1. I mean, it has the headphone slider, has a little indent for the headphone jack. It doesn't actually do anything. It's the cartridge slot opens, and Hear me out. There's even a slot for where the Sega CD would go. The tray actually comes off and it reveals an opening. Yes, they did release a Sega CD and a Sega 32X for this. However, it was in very, very limited quantities. Or the North American ones. The Japanese ones you could buy in stores. The North American Sega CD Minis and 32X Minis for these things are extremely rare. Because they were given out for free, but only to really big YouTubers. They're near impossible to get, and even if you do come across one, they're gonna go for a lot of money. But I do have an original Sega CD and 32X. So maybe it'll work. No, I guess it don't. So maybe that original Genesis wasn't so bad after all. I guess we have to go get it. Oh, would I recommend this product? Yes, I really would. It's not a bad product. Yes, I really would recommend this product. Even if you own an original Genesis and you prefer to play on the original Genesis, like I do, it's still a really cool shelf piece if you can get one for cheap enough. If you want to casually play Genesis games, definitely get this. This is a really cool product.